What's happened to the quick fix? This weapon went from topping everyone's favourite lists to just completely being ignored. And it's really quite sad to see, because nothing actually happened to the weapon. I think the quick fix's lack of popularity is due to Medic's problems as a whole, of which he has many, and has had for a very long time. I truly believe the quick fix is innocent, and it's the other Mediguns to blame along with the class itself. You see, medics around the world have been singing the song of cross-stock saw for the longest time, and the longer that tune is held, the harder it becomes to sing anything else. This isn't the fault of medic players at all. It's not their fault for using the best weapons. In fact, I don't think there is any fault to blame here, it's just a series of events that have led up to how medic currently is. So, I've compiled a list of pretty sizable reasons as to why I think the quick fix is now mostly redundant. This video will be split into 3 small parts, with each one having a recap of the previous section. These will basically be detailing the 3 main reasons as to why I think the quick fix is now problematic. Also, a quick editor's note before we begin. My demo files seem to just chew frames for some reason, and I'm very sorry about that. I'm working to fix it. To understand what the quick fix is and how it works, we should of course read the small print. On the blue team, we have a 40% faster heal rate and a 10% faster ubercharge rate. And in the red corner, we have quite a severe downside of 50% less max overheal. Listed above these numbers is of course how the ubercharge works. The quick fix ubercharge makes you immune to all types of knockback and increases your healing done to both you and your target by 300%. The quick fix also possesses a unique, really cool and largely hindering mechanic. While healing a player, you perform any movement tech they also perform. So if a demo man were to shield charge, or a blast class were to rocket jump away, or you even match a scout's speed. So there's quite a bit of information to break down. I think we'll start with the ubercharge first. So a little bit of lore here, the quick fix is canonically the Medigun prototype. It's essentially Patient Zero. It was the first Medigun the medic had ever crafted, and then which he refined into the stock Medigun. Although, in Meet the Medic, he uses the quick fix, gets a stock ubercharge, but we all know this. So, establishing problem number 1 with the quick fix. The ubercharge is on the worst side of good. It is nowhere near bad, as it was designed to be a jack of all, master of none kind of healing. However, this was also the philosophy behind the stock Medigun's ubercharge, and it's just better. Again, this ubercharge is nowhere near bad, it's the weakest at what an ubercharge is supposed to do. That being break stalemates, push sentry nests, and capture objectives. Let's go over the other charges. The stock Medigun provides the strongest ubercharge by far. It was designed to be an all-around jack of all traits, except it also kind of masters all. After only 40 seconds of healing, you are granted with 8 seconds of full immunity to everything. That's pretty damn good. I then put the Kritzkrieg as the second best Medigun. Whether it's good or not is entirely dependent on who you're healing, and it's probably the hardest Medigun to use as it provides no protection for the medic itself. After only 32 seconds of charging, you have 8 seconds of full crits for your target. That's incredibly good. And then the real underdog of the Mediguns, the Vaccinator. After being tweaked and altered time and time again, the Vaccinator now sees incredible use as a specifics Medigun. It has the opposite philosophy to the stock and quick fix. It does not excel at everything, it only excels at separate things at separate times. This combined with its 4 mini ubercharges makes it incredibly versatile, and a fantastic weapon for both competitive and casual. Which very neatly brings us along back to the quick fix. In the best country in the world, England, we refer to the quick fix as Dog's Body. Dog's Body is the nickname given to a job description in which someone would perform a bunch of meaningless, slightly lower down tasks. Because it doesn't excel in one thing, instead it does a bunch of different things a little amount, there's no real reason to use it over one of the extreme Mediguns. A good medic should adapt to what the enemy team is throwing at him, so why would you use something that covers everything when you can use something that covers the specific danger you're in very well? Lots of snipers or enemy pyros? Vaccinator. Strong sentry nests? Stock. Just general damage and pushing? Kritzkrieg. Okay, so part 2 to the problem. We've now covered as to why it's outclassed, mainly because other Mediguns excel in different scenarios. And because stock was designed to do exactly what the quick fix does, it actually does it better. But another problem the quick fix suffers from, the meta, or more specifically, the crossbow. The crossbow also allows you to do huge amounts of healing, just like the quick fix. However, you could then pair it with a stronger Medigun like the Kritzkrieg. The ability to have good healing and fantastic damage is much better than the ability to have fantastic healing and no damage. Might be a bit difficult to explain, let me lay it out visually. The Kritzkrieg crossbow combo is one of my favourite things to do as medic. See, as I've laid it out here, the damage support is incredibly high with the Kritzkrieg, while the healing is also good with the crossbow. But with the quick fix, you don't get any damage support and you get exceptional healing. So let's have a little quick chalkboard recap of why the quick fix is outclassed. It's outclassed by other Ubercharges, and the crossbow exists, rendering its massive healing redundant. However, these aren't the main reasons. The main, much larger reason is the meta. Medic has the smallest range of weapon unlocks in the entirety of TF2, and he also has the smallest range of bad weapon unlocks. But he has just some so insanely powerful options that the community has quickly calculated there is a definitive best loadout to play Medic with. This is largely in part to the three weapons problems equally: the crossbow, the stock Medigun, and of course the Ubersaw. The crossbow outclasses every single other syringe gun in the fact that it can heal targets, scales with range. With the stock, why would you use the quick fix's incredible burst healing Uber when you can just be invincible? And the Vitasaur is also an incredibly powerful tool, but it rewards you for getting in and getting risky, and then dying, while the Ubersaw rewards you for getting in, getting risky, and then having an immediate reward. All these weapons combine to share the same equal problem, and I don't think the quick fix would ever become viable again without something happening to all three of these. If the crossbow only did little amounts of healing, there'll be more of an incentive to combine it with the quick fix for close action burst healing and far away action burst healing. If the stock Medigun's Uber wasn't so powerful, there'll be much more of a reason to use the quick fix over it. And the Vitasaur actually pairs really well with the quick fix, because it rewards you for getting a slightly faster Uber charge rate upon death. But the Ubersaw pairs even better with the quick fix, because it rewards you for getting Uber charge now instead of waiting for you to die. So we've kind of reached an unstoppable wall here. You see, the stock Medigun outbeats the quick fix in almost every way, and the crossbow outbeats the quick fix in combination with other Mediguns. That 40% faster heal rate is fantastic, but in the face of waiting a little bit longer for full immunity, what's the point? So for the quick fix to become viable again, we first need to tackle the crossbow, and then we also need to tackle the stock. To deal with the crossbow, well, it's got its own problems as well, because it is the definitive best syringe gun. So I think we need to lower the healing ever so slightly, and buff other options like the overdose. If medics could gain a passive speed boost dependent on their Ubercharge, regardless of whether they held the overdose or not, that would be really strong and would actually be a viable contender. Now the stock Medigun of course we are not nerfing, but this is where the quick fix buffing comes into play. This is where I propose we give the quick fix a minor rework / tweak / buff. I think its core stats are fine. 10% faster Ubercharge rate goes nicely in hand with its much faster healing rate, and the 40% faster healing rate is already absurd, you can't buff that anymore. So what I propose is that we tweak the Ubercharge. What I propose is that we make this Ubercharge have a smaller, less effective area of healing effect, just like the Amputator Taunt does. Since every Medigun, apart from the quick fix, is viable because it excels in a specific niche, we need to make the quick fix do that as well. And its already faster healing rate isn't a good enough of a niche. This would put the quick fix into an offensive niche, where it'll be incredibly good on offense, and will obviously still be good on defense, but nowhere near. Take a payload map for example. If you could rally your whole team with this area of healing Ubercharge effect, you could easily get to the payload and push past any enemies. This might be too strong combined with the 40% faster heal rate, so if you don't like this idea, let me propose another. Simply giving the quick fix a longer range of healing. Each Medigun shares the same healing range, 450 hammer units, it looks about this much. But if we were to not only keep the same statistics that the quick fix currently has, but also add a longer healing range, that would push it into a defensive niche. This would allow the medic to stay out of the way of the front lines, hang around dispensers and sentries. Granted, this could also make him a larger target for spies, but I think the upside is so good, and it's something yet to be explored in Medic, that I really think it would be a good idea. I hope I've explained this well enough with the help of the visuals on the screen. I do my dub over first, and then I add the visuals, so I currently haven't added them yet, so that's going to be a fun challenge. But yeah, this is my small video on why I think the quick fix has largely become redundant. To recap, the three main points: there are much stronger Ubercharges, the crossbow exists, and it's completely outclassed by the stock in most every way. Thanks for watching. If you disagree or agree with any of these terms or whatnot, leave a comment down below. This is a small channel, so obviously I will read every comment. I thrive on your feedback and I greatly appreciate it. Other changes I've made since the last video: I've turned the music volume down. That was a common complaint I got. The next video should be the sniper analysis one, as stated by my timeline, but it could also be I'm working on something else. Something that's not really TF2 and it's not Overwatch either. It's a weird place to put all these analytics at the end of a Medic video, but bear with me a moment. Along with the Improving the Mercs series, I'm also going to start up a bad map series. My first ever video on this channel was the Dust Bowl analysis, and I really hate playing on Dust Bowl. However, there are bad maps out there that I love playing on, and I think that'd be a pretty cool series. Apart from that, I'm also going to start working on a character analysis video. I think I'll take protagonists from my favourite series and break down why they do or don't work. Mostly don't work. So look out for that within the near future. Okay, well, this has been my video on why I think the quick fix is largely redundant and how we could quickly fix it. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you later down the Sunny Road. Okay, bye!